What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. To kick things off, so it is 20 years since the 9/11 attacks.
Since the WWE saved America.
So I'm going to do a mixture of two things. One, WWE put out a very short documentary, called "Never Forget" about their episode of Smackdown that they did on 9/13. Because back then, Smackdown was always taped on Tuesdays. And then they would show it on Thursday. Well, 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. So the world shut down. And a lot of you guys listen to our podcast right now were not even born when 9/11 happened. But I'm going to, I want me and Prime to go through our little stories real quick. And then we'll talk a little bit about the documentary. Because there ain't really much to talk about because it's only 30 minutes long. But where were you, Prime, it's been 20 years, bro. So, let me know where you were at and where you heard about it, how old you were and stuff like that.
Be honest with you, I don't remember. I was 7, maybe 7, 6.
Oh, so you was young.
I don't have much memories. Huh?
You was young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
6 or 7. Yeah. So I ain't really. I knew, but I didn't really know the how can I put this? It's like I knew, but I was just like, okay. I didn't know it was as bad as it was.
So
when you see it, it looks like a movie. So in my head, I process it as a movie.
Okay, because it's very interesting. Because now I'm curious. When, as you were going through the years of it growing up in the post 9/11 world, when did you actually realize or see the footage, or actually care and see yo, this was a real big deal when it happened? Because obviously, when you're 6 and 7, you don't care about that kind of stuff at that time. Nobody does it. No 6 or 7-year-old who grew up back then is going to say they sat there and cared. That's not what a child's going to do. They want to watch their TV, play with their toys. I know that's what I was. But when you was growing up and stuff like that, when did it come and hit you? Be yo, this is something serious.
Probably third. How old are you in third grade? Maybe third grade.
Let's see. Third grade, you usually around, I want to say 9.
So maybe third grade. Probably third grade. Because I would say they do it every year.
Yeah.
And that year, more stuff started coming out. Because obviously the first year they kind of knew a lot of stuff, but they still didn't have every information.
Yeah.
Of the So there were more videos starting to come out, more amateur videos as well, more people recording.
Yeah.
From their cameras or whatever, and I was just well, actually that's kind of it's kind of bad. Yeah. But I still wasn't oh, it was death. I was just okay, these things happen. I wasn't oh, all these people died. I was just okay, the buildings fell, and that was that. And then, it hit me fast. I don't know when it hit me. It did hit me fast. All the people, all the everything.
Yes,
it hit real fast. Probably. Actually, I can tell you when. It had to be 5th grade when we went to the museum, because we went to a museum.
Yeah.
For it.
It must have been when the makeshift was, because that new one that's in New York right now wasn't open yet. Which, by the way, have you been to that one yet?
No, I've been to one in Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay. The one that they have now in New York, I just went there because my wife bought me tickets for Christmas and said, hey, because I love history. And when something like this happens, I love studying about it. I love reading about it. Now, when 9/11 happened, I was in 8th grade. So I was 13 years old when that happened. So I am very fresh in memory of what was going on. But at first, I never knew what the World Trade Center was. When they said the World Trade Center got attacked, I thought it was the Leaning Tower of Pisa that's over in Italy, or wherever it's at. And then when they came back and had to explain to me what was going on, that's how I was just like, oh my god. And it didn't wrap around until because it was on the news all damn day.
Mm-hmm.
And they started going back to some regular programming for kids to watch. But what really sat with me was people jumping out the window.
Yeah.
And
don't think they ain't play that in school.
Oh, they just kept playing. And I was just like, at first I was just like...
Literally, I thought... at one point they was playing it so much, I thought, like, that's the only way people died. Like,
exactly. That's how it was. And at first, because I was sitting there, I was very ignorant. I was sitting there like, man, why ain't they use the stairs? Like,
wow.
That's how
smart
ignorant.
guy over here.
What you say?
Smart guy over here.
Smart guy. That was a good one. Smart guy over here. I was very ignorant. Me and my sister was very, very ignorant at this time. We was just like, why didn't they use the stairs? I would have been, you know how people are like, I would have been this. I would have been like, no. I did not know the severity. Like, first of all, I didn't know the plane took out damn near everything, the stairs and the elevator. They couldn't get down if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like, when you are put in that predicament, and it's just like, yo, do I just burn to death or do I just take the quick and easy way out? Because no matter what, I'm equal to dying. And it's just like, it didn't...
Especially... Not gonna say especially since then, obviously, like videos and all that come and pictures that come out of, like the 911 phone calls, all that, the people in the building.
Yeah.
And
then once again, so what happened was it scared me at first because I'd never seen that before. And then I remember it scared me so bad I started making up stories about it to help cope with myself. And I was just like, yeah, somebody jumped from the 64th floor and he just broke his legs. That never happened. I would say that, and then
well, he did break his legs. You're right.
Yeah, and everything else. But and I remember I started reading books. I started doing more research because I wanted to know how bad the situation was that for somebody to have to make that decision. Because it's you don't forget seeing that shit at all. Especially when you're young and you're a kid. And that's what. And then of course when the buildings came down, you knew you never wanted to say it, but you knew they still had thousands of people in them buildings, and you couldn't see it from because all you see is the building coming down on TV. But being there, I was like, yo, people are still in that building. Like that fucks with you. That really fucks with you. So I started watching documentaries and reading books and hearing firsthand accounts because I wanted to learn so bad because I really want to know the severity of that. And
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
It probably has been answered. When the first building got attacked, why didn't they immediately do the second building? Because they thought it was just an accident?
You're saying why didn't they immediately leave?
Just the second building that didn't get hit.
Yeah.
Why didn't they immediately evacuate it? Is it just because they thought it was an accident?
No. So what happened? Because I looked into this thing also. So what happened was in the 1993 bombing, the people that died because they got trampled, not because of the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, they didn't have emergency lighting. There was no fire drill evacuation, so people kind of just ran off out of a panic, and it took people 2 to 3 hours to get down the stairwells because all the stairwells filled up with smoke and everything. And it was a thick black smoke that nobody could see. And it took hours for people, especially for people on the top floors, to get out the building. So, and the World Trade Center holds about 50,000 people, just co-workers. Now, they knew that you couldn't have a mass evacuation at that same time because it would have did the same thing that happened in 93. More people would have got hurt, and you can't immediately evacuate 50,000 people. So the plan was, let's get this under control, and then because they had to find a safe way for them to get out, because a firefighter was killed by somebody who jumped and landed on them. And there was debris and there was stuff that was still falling. So if they just went out the front door, they would got hit with all that stuff. So they had to find another way for them to get out. Now, that's why half the building started evacuating and started making their way downstairs. But it was getting crowded in the elevators. It was getting crowded in the hallways. It was getting crowded in the staircases because everybody was trying to leave at once. So and when you get that kind of congestion, when the stairwells are not that big, you know, you can cause more problems. So they said, because they thought they know it's a terrorist attack. They said, right now this building is secure. You're going to be evacuated eventually, but for right now, go back up to your office, because you're going to cause mass panic, and somebody else can really get hurt by just trying to evacuate. Then when the building hit, when they got hit again, then it was just like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And unfortunately, a lot of people that was evacuating at that time, they were all clogged up right where the plane hit at. So now all the people was dead. So now it's just like, okay, and then the people that stayed up at the top was trapped up there. And then you had the people was just like, okay, well, whoever's left, we got to get out. I've asked myself that question for a lot of years, and I had to do the research to figure out why that was. So,
wow,
yeah. So, and I watched I must have watched all, like 95% of all the 9/11 documentaries, and read about a good 70% of the books. So it's just, you know,
I actually so I did research. I was gonna put a video out, but I did research. I was doing like the importance of Howard Stern's broadcast.
Yeah.
I listened to the whole thing. The whole broadcast. I was like, oh yeah, that is like an important. I felt like it was one of the important ones, because it was just instant news, and it wasn't necessarily for people watching TVs, people in their cars.
Yeah.
That broadcast was like, I think what everybody was thinking. It was like from the joke into, oh, what's this, a drunk plane jumper, to then the second one hit. I was like, oh, no, that's the same building. Oh wait, no, that's a different building. Then they hit the Pentagon to, oh, then obviously other things
Is exactly
things happening.
It's
like from joking to like fear to like fear.
Yeah, the fear, because then the Pentagon got hit, and then it's like, so what's going on? We just be under attack from all angles, and we just don't know what's happening. So that's how I was, and we went to that museum. It's a very beautiful, powerful, sad, and peaceful place. They have the footprints, and they have they have those beautiful waterfalls that's there, and they have everybody's name engraved in that bronze that's down there. It's a lot of names. It's too many fucking names. And I say too many names as not that all the people shouldn't have died like that. And it's sad. But it's just so many names that's on there. And then underneath there is the museum. And the museum is a wonderful experience. And if anybody lives in New York or hasn't been in New York, do yourself a service and go visit that museum. It's worth it. It truly is worth it. And then they got the new Freedom Tower that's right there, which is massive. Their new Freedom Tower is massive. So, but yeah, so those are me and Prime stories. But then I remember the Smackdown, because I was just like, I need to get away. Because after I seen the people jumping, I started crying because I was getting scared. And, you know, my mom tried to calm me down. And I know people out there thinking, you 13 years old crying like that? I'm like, yeah, I was. Scared out my ass. So I remember trying to turn the Smackdown, and the news was still on. I was getting pissed. Like, why the fuck the news still on? And then they canceled Smackdown. This is before internet. This is before social media. You know, they didn't send out a tweet. WWE didn't send out a tweet saying, hey, SmackDown's being canceled Tuesday. You just had to find out from, you know, the post, or, you know, on the computer, slow dial-up that you had, or you just had to wait and see what was going on when they talked about it on the news. So they had Smackdown live from San Antonio, Texas, on that Friday. And I remember them coming out. The Rock led the way. This was when I knew it was serious, because back then they didn't pull the curtain back on kayfabe like that, like it is today. And we was dead heat in the storyline of the Invasion versus WWE. I know you remember that, Prime, right?
I would like not to.
Well, I understand that. Yeah, The Rock had just came back. He was leading Team WWE, and this is when Stone Cold's part of the Alliance, which the Alliance was terrible. But this is where it was at though. But everybody was still making bank though. But then I seen Vince McMahon go up there, and then The Rock's up there, and Stone Cold. I'm like, wait a minute, why are they on stage with the Alliance? I'm just like, wait. When you're young, you so into the storyline, you're not realizing like, yo, this thing was serious. And they had Lillian Garcia sing the national anthem, and she cried, and I was just like, and then they had all the superstars back there, telling their experiences of what they saw on that Tuesday. And that's basically what it was in the documentary. Edge made a good point, because Edge was just like, he was on the train that they shouldn't do a show. But that just shows WWE don't stop for shit at all. But I do agree on certain points, like maybe we shouldn't do the show. Maybe we should just cancel the show. And we should be home with our families right now, because what just happened, you just seen 3,000 innocent lives die. Or close to 3,000 at that time. And it's heartbreaking. And you want to sit there and be, with your family. I thought that was a real thing to point out and stuff like that. Now, I know you probably wasn't watching SmackDown at that time, stuff like that, but when you went back and watched the episode, did it bring back some memories for you?
I mean, I know that wasn't not an all-timer, but like I know The Rock in the USA Just Bring It shirt, that sticks out in my mind like vividly.
Because they're on soul like crazy.
That sticks out vividly. Vince in the front, arms folded.
Yeah.
Well, arms crossed, really.
Well, I mean, he did have his hand on his heart, but then,
Vince ain't, I'm too cool to have my hand on my heart. I'm folding my arms and sitting there looking. just like when Jagged Edge was on there, everybody was waving. Vince ain't waved. He said, I gotta move my body. I'm not waving. But no. This is an all-timer segment. Even in the SmackDown DVD I got, it was like all the top 10 moments of SmackDown. This is like maybe top 20 or top 15 moments.
Yes, it is.
And they they talk about their experiences and stuff, and just a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a nice watch. But it's WWE and how they continued and they glow a little bit. That's what WWE does. So if y'all want to see,
this is the first event since Tuesday. It's the first nationally most people we got together since Tuesday.
They have to be the ones, and there is that in this documentary. I'm letting y'all know that right now. But if y'all want to see, before we move on, if y'all want to see a documentary that talks about 9/11 and gives you some good information, I'm talking about this to you, Prime Time. At first, I know how I was gonna like it. I ended up loving it, and that is Spike Lee's New York City Epicenters from 2001 to 2021 and a half. That is one of Spike Lee's best documentaries to date.
All right, I got a counter for you. All right.
Say what?
I got a counter for you.
Okay.
You got a serious documentary. I got something that's gonna make you laugh, even though it's not funny.
Well, actually, the Spike Lee one will make you laugh though. But we'll go ahead.
Well, it'll make you laugh, but they trying to make you laugh.
So the Spike Lee, but go ahead.
I'm saying Spike Lee is trying to make you laugh, so it will make you laugh.
Okay, got you.
This one is just bad. That is funny. It's about all the kids who lost their dad.
Generation 9/11?
Who lost their dads on 9/11 and they are now 20.
Yes,
and it's just like a reality show.
I seen it.
What's the lady name?
I don't know what the lady name, but
Diane Sawyer.
Diane Sawyer. There is because there's two of them. The first part came on PBS called Generation 9/11, where they talked to 7 kids, and then
this one is
no. I'm saying it's more now because on the 2021 they added more kids to the party. That lost their stuff. I'm just like, yes, I did see some of that one.
Because I was like, I guess the first episode they had was right after they was born.
Yeah.
In that 9/11 range, and then now it's like a gang of kids. it's y'all should watch it.
Yes, bro. Like I told you, I'll be watching all the 9/11 documentaries, and then the 20-year anniversary one. I was watching all the new ones. I watched the Nat Geo One Day in America 6-part documentary. I seen the 4 Flights documentary. I seen the Hunt for Bin Laden. I seen
the Flight 93 movie.
Yeah, I seen it too. I also saw World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, was there? There's another one. I think it is Nicolas Cage, right? You said World Trade Center.
World Trade Center is the one with him and Will Jimeno. No, not Will Jimeno.
No,
Michael Pena.
It's another one. There's another movie about 9/11, but it's not about 9/11. I think it got like Charlie Sheen and Whoopi Goldberg.
That's called 9/11. God, that just.
But it's not about 9/11.
It is not. It is about 9/11. He's in the World Trade Center.
And no, I'm saying it's about 9/11, but it's not. It's like it's in the World Trade Center, but it's not like about the chaos and everything going on. It's just about these people in the elevator, which is outrageous.
Yeah, first of all, I heard the movie was bad.
It is.
It's because Whoopi Goldberg was like a dispatch, and they call and they're stuck in the elevator in the World Trade Center, and it's basically like one of them containment movies where they're stuck in this one location.
Yeah, they're stuck in the elevator the whole time. Like one person died from passing out and all that. But it's like it's weird because it's like this is on nobody's accounts. It's like nobody can prove
I know
like why just randomly say we're gonna have 7 people in this elevator during 9/11, but you can't like get a story from it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a fictionalized account of something because there are people trapped in the elevator stories.
But I'm saying like I can, if it was like one person that survived and they told this story and then somebody made it into a movie, I would understand. Literally, the movie ends with the plane coming. Like you see the plane coming into your view, and then that's it. The movie goes to black, fade to black. So it's like just random, just somebody randomly made up this story about the elevator, which is like okay.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't. I watch the documentaries. I don't watch like all the movies because Hollywood is going to fictionalize a little bit of something to make it Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, my name is CD. Well, I forget what her name is. What the lady name was that made a call. Willie. Nah, I ain't coming home here. Nah. Tell the kids I love them and I love you too. Hey, and goodbye. I'm like, why she got to talk so country? Like that?
The Hollywood. I'm like, no, I like the documentaries and listen to the actual stuff. So I see the generation what you're talking about, but make sure you check out the Spike Lee one on HBO Max. It's 4 parts and it goes backwards. It starts with COVID and it goes back to 2001. And you may be thinking why they go backwards because each Sunday it aired an episode, and on 9/11 it aired in there. So you don't want to end with COVID, you want to end with 9/11. So part 3 and 4 are the best ones. That's the ones that's pertaining to 9/11, whereas part 1 and 2 is pertaining to COVID and everything else.
Check that out.
Yeah.